Welcome back to War Thunder Weekly News. This week there was no major announcements, but there was quite a few updates. They had some pretty impactful changes on the gameplay, mainly for tanks. So on the 25th of September, there was a price increase of aircraft with a battle rating of 8.0 or more, having the respawn cost now be 50% more for fighters, 30% more for attackers, and 20% more for bombers. And the cost of additional weaponry, cannons, and gun pods for fighters was removed entirely. On the contrary, helicopters got a reduced spawn cost by 20%, although the installation of ATGMs would make their cost go up by 40%. Now, if you can't tell what they're trying to do here, they want to make helicopters used at all. As prior to this patch, jets would just murder them instantly. After this patch, jets murder them a little bit later. Personally, it annoys me that they're attempting to alter close air support to be more oriented towards helicopters than it is towards aircraft, although this is only at 8.0 higher, and I don't play there that often. But it's funny how many loops they have to jump through to try to make the helicopters actually usable. My personal experience so far in helicopters has been awful. I originally wanted to try them out in Sim, but the only Sim game mode they have is for Tank Sim. And Tank Sim is in an event with a designated list of vehicles, and the helicopter that I have that has ATGMs, ergo usable, is only available sometimes, so it's annoying. I don't think the way they're going at this is going to fix helicopters. I've played this for a week, this current new spawn point cost setup, and it hasn't changed much. I've noticed a bit more helicopters, but I think that's because regular players are getting in by buying a pack. So there has been an increase of helicopter usage, although their effectiveness has not gone up, as every US tank and most Russian tanks have a 50 caliber machine gun on their roof that they can easily use to shoot down helicopters at close range, and they could use APFSDS to shoot them down at far range. What I think they need to do is lower the battle rating of a number of the helicopters. The first Huey and the first two Russian helicopters and the Hind D should have their battle ratings lowered by 1. So they should all be in the 8.0 area. Additionally, their ATGMs should use the arrow keys instead of the mouse, as they are first generation ATGMs. The other two updates were some eyes that you have to buy and can put on your Hind, and some sounds were altered. And just today, as I was recording this, there was an update for a large number of tanks having their various characteristics changed. Most importantly is the unfortunate nerf of the Type 94, having only 68 horsepower, although more RPMs than it used to. The other major story is the ongoing conflict of the parts and fire prevention equipment. If you're unaware of what's been going on for some time now, on the 12th of September, Gaijin put out a video called Overcoming Stock Syndrome. The video was about how to handle stock aircraft, and it had a pretty negative reaction, as some of the examples were to either ground pound, steal kills, or camp the airfield, which, if you don't play Air RB, are quite negatively thought upon strategies. Oddly enough, the complaints in the video eventually found a focal point of requesting that parts and fire prevention equipment be stock on all tanks, despite the video being about aircraft. Echoed by a few YouTubers, this was spammed upon every video that Gaijin put out and was met with silence. Up until Gaijin had a live stream, one of their usual ones, it wasn't special in any way, of Sean,
FPE and parts, free FPE and parts,
the live stream dude, showing off the new tanks and helicopters. And as anybody would expect, and he should have been warned about, the chat was spammed with free FPE and parts. And apparently I heard there's also some personal attacks, which I'm not in support of, but I'm not too surprised about either. Sean, getting fed up with this, decided to belittle the community's request and made everything worse. A little bit later, on the Steam forums, the mod KnightoftheAbyss posted a very long and boring post that seemed to argue that frustrating players to the point where they just pay for parts and FPE is War Thunder's only form of income, and if they drop that, essentially means the entire game is free. Argues that most players can get FPE and parts from the first 10 free repairs that you get of a new vehicle. I'd agree, actually. The issue comes when you get into the higher tiers where there are less people because the grind takes forever. Overall, this post was dumb, in my personal opinion. Gaijin doesn't seem to understand how to handle PR. They are a few time zones away from the majority of their paying player base. I believe the CEO in the past has stated that most of the money comes out of the United States. That's why US always seems to be the first nation for anything new. Besides that, there hasn't been any official statements. All this has come from mods on the forums. There hasn't been any real official statement from developers. And honestly, I don't think we're going to get one. Gaijin has shown in the past that whenever there is a backlash like this happening, they like to stay quiet and let it burn itself out. At the end of October is the anniversary, and I'm assuming Gaijin is going to hope that all of this is either forgotten by then or the anniversary event overshadows people's complaints. I personally have many times been very annoyed by not having parts or fire prevention equipment in a stock tank. If they did make it so parts and FPE were stock, I would be very psyched. It would be a positive step, but I don't think it would change too much. There's a lot of other complaints that the community has that are not easy fixes. I've heard a lot of ideas of how to resolve the problem with still allowing Gaijin to make money off people buying parts in FPE. And I think so far, Mags TV's idea I personally like the best, as it adds more to the game. It doesn't just shorten the grind a little bit. I'm very curious to see how Gaijin messes up in PR again next, as it's actually kind of amusing seeing them be completely awful. They've removed likes and dislikes from their YouTube videos, they're deleting comments. It's kind of funny. Anyways, that's just about all this week. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or concerns, hit me on my Discord. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, don't hit the like button. If you want to see more, I make these news videos every weekend. I make random videos throughout the week. So hit that bell icon if you want to be notified anytime I upload anything. Thanks for watching and have a great day.